So back in again with another Ezel and the Vanity Card 5 Vanguard weekly review. So if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to Patreon. And let's get one started. Today we had the end of the collection with Tetra-Drive coming out, Tetra-Drive and Chatnoir coming out yesterday, and then today we're Avengers and Link Joker and all the big boys that came out, and now we're done with V collection. And we also got Space Gredora revealed, and we also got the rest of V collection. Obviously, just those four were the ones I cared about the most. So let's go ahead and get this one started. First up, we have an order for Keter Sanctuary. Wish for tomorrow. Normal grade 3 order. Play it by counterblasting 1 and soul blasting 1 and reveal a critical or front in your hand. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, draw a card and put the revealed card for this card's cost at the top of your deck. So, an extra Hexa Orb, because we don't know what Hexa Orb does, it does the same exact thing. The difference is you have to Persona Ride for it. So you can do this without Persona Riding. In fact, the cost is even the same. So it's nice that you can still get that draw and stack a trigger at top, along if you use Hexa Orb's ability. Granted, that would cost you 2 Soul Blasts and 2 Counter Blasts, and 2 hand cards, technically speaking, but that's a way to guarantee at least a double trigger. So Wish for Tomorrow is a nice grade 3 order. I say 2 over 3 of. Covering Knight Felicida is next, 13k base, grade 3 twin drive Persona Ride. Act rear, if you Persona Road during this turn, counterblast 2, retire this unit, until end of turn, one of your grade 3 units gets +1 drive. Okay, I like the flexibility of this. I feel, personally, this would work better in Bastion, because Bastion, in my builds, Bastion doesn't use up as much counterblast as Hexa Orb does. Depending on how you play them, it can go in both, or it can go in one over the other. But I say regardless, it does work for both of them, because in Bastion, you want to drive check grade 3s, and Hexa Orb, you want to drive check triggers. It works in both of them really well. So, and PBD, if you really want to put it in PBD, but I don't think you should. Just a good grade 3, I say 2 over 3 of. On to our first reveal for today of the V collection. We have Liberators, Bluish Flames. Bluish Flames was my least favorite part of all of Legion. Legion was my least favorite in all of Vanguard era, but, like, I hate Bluish Flames, my living soul. It's not because of Bluish Flames themselves, it's because of the person that uses them, but they're also Liberators, so I have, like, some love towards them because like I said before, Liberators was the first Gold Paladin deck I've ever had, so I'm both, like, biased towards them and not. This is the one deck where I don't have, like, a personal bias towards, because I have a good bias and then I have a bad bias, so, like, they just balance each other out. So Fast Chase Liberator Josephus is the first grade 1 we have. Grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. I don't know why I said first grade 1. We've had other grade 1s, and it's also not the first. There's only one grade 1. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, auto when ridden upon, you may look at the top card. If it's unit, you may call it to rear, and auto when placed on rear from your deck. Soul Blast 1, counter charge 1, then Soul Blast 1 to draw 1. Okay, nice 2 Soul Blast. If you have Aggro Veil in your deck, that's going to be really easy to pull off. And especially because the new Bluish Flame card focuses on Aggro Veil, kind of. So that's really nice that he only does Soul Blast, and you get a counter charge out of it, which is really nice because I've needed counter chargers, and this can be called from deck, and you don't have to have a Liberator Vanguard, so this is really nice. And you get a draw out of it, possibly. Not to mention, just when right upon, call a card from top deck. Granted, it might be a trigger, and you might be getting worse power out of it instead of just calling this straight from Soul, but you're going to keep that Soul, and you might call a stronger unit out of it, so I like him. He's a nice grade 1, 3 over 4 of. Next up, we have Liberator of Royalty Phallon, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Continuous, during your turn, if you have called a rear guard from your deck this turn, it gets +5. So automatically it's a 14k if you call something from deck, which is nice to have, so that's cool. And auto Vanner rear, when its attack hits a Vanguard, you may look at the top card, and if it's a unit card, you may call it to rear. So nice, you know, you can just get another rear guard to swing with, and then automatically this gives it +5. Granted, it wouldn't be able to, like, swing again because it has to hit in the first place, but, you know, if this is in premium, you see stand triggers, that's good. I used to not like the OG Phallon just because he was a 12k swinger and that was it. I like this new one. I really do. I always liked his art. I hated his skill. I like this one a lot more. 4 of. And our last Bluish Flame card is Bluish Flame Liberator Prominence Core. 12k base, grade 3, twin drive, Excel gift. I don't know why I was about to say Persona Ride. Act Van, once per turn, counterblast 1, retire a rear guard. Look at top 4, choose up to 2 unit cards from among them, call them to rear, and put the rest on the bottom. If there's a Percival in your soul, you may choose up to 4 cards instead of 2. So you kind of want to ride Percival first, but you want to send Percival to Soul with Aggro Veil, so you know you can get that effect off really easily, which is really good to have, because already that implies that you have either you have 2 Excel gifts, or you might even have 3, depending, like, if you rode Percival first and you use its skill, you have 3 Excel gifts, because you probably rode into this directly after. Or if you rode on this, then you probably have 2 Excel gifts, because you probably use Percival anyways. And Auto Van, when your rear guard is placed, that unit and this unit get +3 until end of turn. Then if you have a Oath Liberator Aggro Veil on rear, and your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, until end of turn this unit's original critical becomes 2. So, when your rear guards are called, regardless of when, as long as it's... Oh, no. It says when your rear guard is placed, it never says when. Never says when. So, technically, if you put this in OG Gold, if you build a premium deck, and you shove Slamy Flare into the deck... Actually, no, Slamy Flare won't work. If you shoved Truth Healing Liberator, or at least I think it's called into the deck, and you called something to the back row... Bluish Flame's got something going on. Prominence Core, really nice grade 3. I do like it here. 4 copies. Next up is Piercing Assistant, 10k base, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, auto rear once per turn. When you soul charge by your own card effect, if you persona rolled this turn, counterblast 1, draw a card. So pretty much any good card for Dark States, really. I mean, like, Bruce soul charges by effects, so does Barrow Magnus. Maybe they're new grade 3 soul charges by effects, so I say this is a good grade 2, not perfect. I say 2 or 3, depending on how much you want that draw. Next up, we have Expression of Unique Abilities and the Pressure of Gravity. I'm pretty sure neither of that is its name, but it's what I got when I put the card on here, so that's what it's staying as. Grade 1, Blitz Order. If you have 4 or more cards in your soul charge 1, choose one of your... I don't know why it says Blitz Order. That doesn't seem like a Blitz Order. But, choose one of your choose one of your opponent's attacking Vanguards, and until end of battle loses 5k. Never mind, I read it wrong. Yeah, that is a Blitz Order. So, you know, a way to get soul and a way to -5. I say that's a really good card, and it could even work in Bruce because it's free. So I say like 2 over 3, depending on what deck you want to put it in. And now we have bunnies for V Collection. Bunnies are very interesting, they're very funny, they're very cute, and I like them. So let's go ahead and start them off. First up, we have Amusing Bunny, grade 1, boost, 10k shield, 8k base. Auto, when placed on Van, look at top 7 cards from your deck, reveal a Beast Tamer from among them, add it to hand and shuffle your deck. If you added, choose a card from your hand and put it to soul. So a way to get soul charge because you don't have to discard, so I like that about it, and it can search for Beast Tamers. And auto rear, at the end of the battle, the attacked or boosted, you may put a rear guard into soul. So, you know, just a way to solve something to soul. Really nice to have. I like Bunny. It can get you soul charge, and it can, like, clear up your field. So, 4 of, nice grade 1. Next up, we have Bunny's Beast Tamer's Assistant, Chlorina, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Van, when it attacks, put a card from your hand to soul. Choose a grade 2 or lower card from your soul. You may call it to rear. Continuous Van, if the total number of grade 1s with Bunny in its card name among your units and cards in your soul is 3 or more, it gets +1 drive. So a nice ability, you know, it can call units, and you don't have to have them just in soul. You can have them on rear too, and granted it's restricted to grade 1 bunnies, but there are 4 of them, so that's really helpful. So, and it's a drive. Thing is, though, why does it only have Vanguard skills? That is something weird, though, but either way, nice grade 1, 3 over 4 of. Here's why the card has Vanguard skill, only Vanguard skills. Bunny Beast Tamer Tyrieves, 12k base, grade 3, Hell Gift, Twin Drive, Act Van, once per turn, counterblast 1, put 2 cards from hand to soul. Choose the 2 grade 2 or lower units from your soul, call them to rear, then choose a Beast Tamer rear guard in the front row with a different name than this unit, and until end of turn, it becomes a Vanguard circle. So Witches and Gancelot, but better. Better than Witches, depending on how you see it, better than Gancelot. And continuous Van during your turn for each grade 1 with Bunny in its card name among your units in the soul and on your field, your front row units get +1. So in my build, you know, I mean, well, during test play last night, I only got 3 bunnies because for some reason, all of them wanted to stay in the bottom of the deck. For some reason, like I would see them, and then I did eventually see them, but I had to guard with them. But yeah, Tyrieves can stack power, and, you know, he can get this out of soul, which is why it's restricted to, you know, being Vanguard skills, but you can still use them, get quad drive out of it, or it doesn't have to be this card, it just says Beast Tamer. You can pick any Beast Tamer that also includes Golden Beast Tamer. Now think about that for a second as I try to remember what Beast Tamer does, because she also gives +3 to the front row if you have 5 or more front row units. And not to mention, you know, she just, kind of has a Vanguard skill that can get you 2 more attacks. So Tyrieves works really well with almost any Beast Tamer, so nice grade 3. Next up, we have Blaze Maiden Teressa, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto rear, when its attack hits, counterblast 1, choose a card with the Overdress ability from your drop zone and add it to hand. So on hit, recycle your win con. Okay, I'll take it. I wish it wasn't a counterblast cost, but that's still fine. I say 2 over 3, depending if you need it or not. Blaze Club Monk Shakne, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto rear, when your grade 0 rear guard attacks, counterblast 1, retire this unit until end of battle, the attacking unit gets +10. Once more, wish it wasn't a counterblast, but that's helpful to the Elgar builds or Urgar builds because, you know, +10 when they swing. So, nice grade 2 to have. 3 of, 2 of, depending on how, like I said earlier, how you kind of want to play it and how much counterblast you use up annually. And now we have Gear Chronicle revealed, and what my opinion is the most, like, it depends on how you see this one. It's either the most disappointing or the most exciting. It just depends on how you see it. In my personal opinion, it's like one of the skills I'm disappointed in, the other skill it's a meh in. Steam Scar Gigi, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, when discarded from your hand during your turn, you may call this card to rear as rest. So, recycle the field, I guess. And auto rear, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard attack, Soul Blast 1, retire it, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, and gets +5. So, what OG, like, I guess, Gear Chrono, or like those triggers that when you would send them to Soul when your Vanguard would swing, you draw and it gets +5. Instead, it's Soul Blast and kill it. But either way, you're still opening up a circle, so I guess GG is still helpful in that scenario. 2 of or 3 of. If it was not a Soul Blast, I would say 4 of. Next up, we have Steam Knight Kalibum, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto rear at the end of the battle of the attack, counterblast 1, bind it. Choose one of either fighter's rear guards, put it at the bottom of deck. If you put a grade 2 or greater unit, ship to one normal unit with that card's grade -1 from your drop zone and bounce it to hand. If you put a grade 1 or lower, draw a card and countercharge 1. So, you know, either you send a grade 2 or higher, and you can recycle a PG. Or not a P, well yeah, technically you could recycle a PG if you sent a, like, if you keep grade 1 PGs in your deck, or you could send a grade 1 or lower back to your deck, maybe recycle triggers a bit, and get a draw and counter charge out of it. Either way, it's a good grade 2 to have. I say 4 of. And now onto the main boy for the Gear Chronicle reveals, Interdimensional Dragon, Chronoscommand Dragon. 15k base, grade 4, twin drive, auto van when placed, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, discard 1, all the cost effects. Put all of your rear guards to the bottom, look at top 5, and call any number of unit cards from one of them and send the rest back to deck and shuffle. So, they gave a card that is blatantly a gold card. I know this effect belongs to a gold card, or something along these lines belongs to a gold card. I don't remember what it is. I know it's a Unite card, or at least the thing I'm thinking of, and they gave it to Chronoscommand. When I think of this, I think back to G, where Chrono was fighting Tayo, and Tayo had done all that training. This is first season G, by the way, where Tayo had done all the training to fight Gear Chronicle, and Chrono pulled fucking Fate Rider out of his ass or something. I don't remember what G unit it was, but then he, like, nuked Tayo's field and called the top 5, but instead of, you know, calling it to their field, you call it to your field, I guess. But, why? Like, I can see why, because that is a way to reshuffle triggers. You can just call 5 triggers if you're doing that badly and you're willing to discard those hand, and then just send the triggers back. But, like, why though? Why Chronoscommand had to have this is beyond me, but sure. And auto van, when its attack hits a Vanguard, your opponent must put all their rear guards to the bottom of the deck in any order. So, you know, it's at least it still has the standard Chronoscommand ability, and it is technically cheaper than the OG, because the OG was Counterblast 2 and Soul Blast 1, or Counterblast 2 and Soul Blast 2. This is just Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, discard 1 for the redo your field effect, which is not mandatory if you don't want to pay the cost. But then, you know, it has the on hit, which is free if they let this hit. But, why? Just why? I am genuinely asking, why did they give it that skill? Like, they could have given it anything else. But why? Also, Bushy, can you stop giving us, like, grade 4s and maybe give us another grade 3 to actually, like, have the effects? Because we have Lost Legend that I'm pretty sure no one uses. We have Chrono Jet, which is objectively better. And then we have Chrono Fang, who, yeah, he still has the Search effect, but his other effect only applies to Rebellion. So, can we get, like, another grade 3 maybe? Even if it isn't better than Chrono Jet, can we just get something to have, like, comparison to, so we don't all have to, like, pick between 3 grade 3s. Maybe a 4th one would be nice now, but yeah, it's fine. It's Chronoscommand. I'll give it like out of 5 stars, I give it a 2.5. Next up, we have Greed Crow, grade 1, boost, 5k shield, 8k base, act rear once per turn. If you played an order this turn, discard an order, draw a card. So a way to fill up your drop zone and get a draw. Fair enough. 2 or 3. Meet Mincer, 10k base, grade 3, twin drive, persona ride, continues rear. For each order in your bind zone, this unit gets +5. That's debatable, because I'm pretty sure Sleeving Beauty is a lot better than this, but, it depends on how you see it, depends on how your build works. In my build, Sleeving Beauty would be better. I'll depending on how you build it around, I say 2 over 3 of. But nice for options, though. Next up is Hollow Dragon of Extinction. 13k base, grade 3, twin drive, persona ride, auto, when placed on van, choose a normal order from your drop, and you may play it without paying its cost. When placed on van? That's an interesting skill. Why is it when placed on van when you're supposed to, like, you know, be on Zorga for this to matter? Or, like, the other grade 3 that I don't remember the name of that can Alchemagic with the same order? Why? Bushy, was this just a typo? Because it's not just on the skill right here. It's on here, too. If you look at it, you can see, like, the Vanguard marking. So I do genuinely question what's their decision behind this. I'm interested to figure out, like, is there a purpose behind this? Is there some grand thing that's going to go on for Zorga? Or was this a mistake that wasn't meant to happen? Or, like, for budget players that can't even afford the other grade 3? That is genuinely my question. But, 2, 3? I'm not even sure what to do with this. I'm pretty sure later this is going to come back to haunt me. But, like, for now, it's, like, a maybe at most. And even then, no. And now we're on to... I just find it funny, first off, how this... Starting now, the reveals came in yesterday, and yet there's still, like, 20 more reveals to go. But, anyways, Tapping Cat for Great Nature, who some people seem to shit on. Not the cat itself, but Chatnoir. 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto when it's retired from rear or when it's discarded from your deck. Soulblast will perform one of the following. Either draw or choose one of your rear guards, and it gets +5 for the turn. So that's really nice that it can work in both mill decks and just random Great Nature decks that can retire. And, you know, you can Soul Blast to draw or give rear guards +5, and that's really helpful. My one problem with this, and that just is a thing that I brought up with my Genesis video, is why do we not, like, why did they fuck over so many styles? Like, yeah, Big Belly, I guess, has the retire aspect, but that's it. Like, they only gave us, like, one deck from that had, like, the OG field, and then everything else just got redone in a completely different manner. Like, milling your own deck was not a thing back in the OG except for Grand Blue, and then they just gave it to fucking Great Nature because they could. Like, milling the opponent's deck, as much as I appreciate it, wasn't an Eradicator. So, you know, I wonder why they did all these new styles, but I like that they're returning at least, like, this retire aspect from it. So I like this grade 1. It's really nice. I give it a 4 of in any of the decks you want to build with it because it can work in all of them. Except for maybe Hamsuke. Next up is Compass Line. 13k base? I thought that was 12. Never mind. 13k base, grade 2, intercept, 5k shield, auto Vanner rear at the end of the turn, choose one of your rear guards and retire it. It's mandatory. So thankfully it only works during your turn. But this can hit force numbers. It's straight up a 13k base. This can hit force numbers. Like, the only thing that this doesn't hit is grade 4 Vanguards, and that's it. Compass Line's an amazing grade 2. No matter what deck it's in, you gotta run it. Like, I don't care. In all decks that isn't like Big Belly or Hamsuke, Big Belly and maybe Hamsuke, you want to run this at like, Big Belly only, you want to run this at like 2 of or 3 of, maybe not Hamsuke, but still. In Big Belly and then this deck, 4 of, straight up. Amazing grade 2. And on to the grade 3 that everyone shits on, but I want to let it be clear, people that shit on this, it wasn't meant to be a main card. It was meant to be a support card. Literally what Bushiroad said was, this card has a place in both Big Belly and Isabel. Great support for both. It was never meant to be a main grade 3. And as much as I hate that, I hate if people keep shitting on it because of that. I don't know why they shit on it, but if that's the reason, no, it was never meant to be a main grade 3. So if you're shitting on it because of that, your opinion's invalid. But anyways, grade 3 Twin Drive Excel Gift. I like the art. I still hate that support card, but still 12k base. Auto Vanner rear when it attacks. Counterblast 1, draw a card. Discard the top card of your deck and activate one of the followings based on the type of card discarded. If it's on Van, ignore the type and activate both. Normal unit, choose 2 of your rear guards and they get +5 for the turn. At the end of the turn, you may retire those units. And trigger unit, choose one of your rear guards until end of turn it gets +5. It can attack from back row. At the end of the turn, retire it. So I like that. It's a way that you can just give 3 rear guards +5 and one of them can attack from back row when it swings on Van. Or if it swings on rear, that's just a good ability regardless. Like, especially if you're on Isabel, it's going to activate regardless. So a nice grade 3 to have in Isabel because it activates lottery effects. A nice grade 3 to have in Big Belly because it gives power. And you can draw out of it. So no matter what, Chatnoir is a really good grade 3 regardless if it's support or not. Because honestly, I built a deck with this and it works out pretty well. 4 of grade 3, and anyone who calls it shit clearly hasn't built a deck for it yet and tried it out. Or maybe it's not your style. Either way, you have no right to insult it for this. Next up, we are on to Aquaforce. First up, we have Blue Wave Dragon Propulsion Dragon. 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto rear once per turn. At the end of the battle, they attack a grade 2 or greater Vanguard. Counterblast 1, choose one of your other back row rear guards, swap positions with it, and if you do, stand this unit. So a way to like get an extra attack out of it and still be able to boost. I like that, and it only costs a counterblast. Nice grade 1. I have no complaints. 3 or 4 of, depending on how you play your deck and how many counterblasts you want to spend. Next up, we have Blue Wave Marine General Cutera, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Van or rear when it attacks a Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your units, and it gets +5 for the turn. If it's on Van, and it's the third battle of that turn or later, draw a card. So, you know, guaranteedly it's a 14k swing if you Soul Blast, and a possibility of being a draw. So, nice grade 2, 4 of or 3 of, depending on how you want to do it. And then finally, our Blue Wave Dragon, Tetra-Drive Dragon, all I'm going to say is this. I have a combo, and I have yet to test it out because I didn't have enough time to test it out. But if in theory it works, you can get 10 attacks on first grade 3 turn with only 2 Counterblast and 3 hand cards and 2 Soul Blast. And you will probably kill your opponent or put them to 5 damage unless damage triggers become a constant thing that they damage check. But, well, I'll test that theory out later and I'll tell you how it goes with my deck build. But, Tetra-Drive Dragon skill, grade 3, Twin Drive, Excel Gift, 12k base, I like its guns on its shoulders. Act Van or rear, Counterblast 1, it gets +2 for the turn. They kept this. They could have given this anything else, but they kept this effect. That is straight up the original effect of Tetra-Drive. Counterblast 1, it gets +2. It may not have been on rear guard, but it definitely was on Van. So, why did we keep this? There was no reason to keep this, but sure, give it +2. Why the hell not? I wish it was like continuous. If you've made 4 or more attacks this turn or 5 or more attacks, it gets +5. That would have been a good ability. Or like maybe a drive or 2. Or not a drive or 2, just a drive or anything else. Why it had to be Counterblast 1 gets +2 is beyond me, but still. I mean, yeah, it can hit force numbers without boosting, but still, that doesn't make it a good excuse. Auto Van, at the end of the battle that your rear guard attacked, I'll activate one of the following effects depending on what battle if it is that turn. 4th battle, discard 2, stand it until end of turn to lose the drive. So, that's really easy to hit. If you're playing an Aquaforce deck, which is an Excel deck, by the way, and if this is on Van, you are guaranteed to get 4 battles that turn as long as you have 3 hand cards. It's because they don't have to hit, they can just poke, but it's almost physically impossible for this not to go off. And then 7th battle, which is harder, Counterblast 1, discard 1, stand this unit. Okay, like I said, you can get 10 attacks in a turn, and if they don't damage check triggers, they might die to this. I will divulge on that later, and hopefully I'll be able to record a test game of that. Tetra-Drive, nice grade 3, amazing grade 3. Next up is Diablos Madonna Regina, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Act rear once per turn. If you're on final rush, Counterblast 1, put 2 other rear guards into your soul. Choose 1 unit card from your soul, call it to rear until end of turn. That unit and this unit get +10. So, you know, a way to get 1 extra soul and a way just to power up 2 units. So, like, say you have this, maybe Jared on board and Eden, you could shove Eden and Jared both to soul, call out Eden and this get +10 if you're in final rush because you have to be for this to go off. You know, Eden's at a 25 now, this is at an 18, and then you got a 43k column with a possible double crit later, and you just got a soul charge out of it. So Regina's actually a good grade 1, I say 3 of or 4 of, depending on how many you want and like what spacing you have for it. Next up, we have the evolution of one of my favorite orders, and God, they keep making the Bruce art so beautiful on these. Like, I genuinely am in love with them. Pandemonium Tactics. Grade 3 normal order, Counterblast 1 to play it, Soul Charge 4. Okay, shut the fuck up. Stop right there. What? Soul Charge 4. Just immediately. Counterblast 1, yeah, Soul Charge 4. That works perfectly in Bruce, Barrow Magnus, maybe even Greedon, depending on what he does, but automatically that's like a definite suggestion for any order. And then if you're in final rush, activate all the following based on the number of cards in your soul. 6 or more, draw a card. 8 or more, all of your followings get +10. 12 or more, choose one of your vanguards and it gets a crit. Okay, most likely this is only going to happen on like the first final rush turn because I doubt you're going to have more than 12 soul directly after that. But that is a way just to get, you know, soul and just get a lot of power out of it. Granted, you can only use half its effect in Barrow Magnus, but it's still a great order to have 2 over 3 of if you decide that you should put it in your deck. Next up, we have Diablos Boy Cyril, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto rear, when it boosts a grade 3, your opponent cannot intercept during the battle. Okay, I would be disappointed in this, but considering this is a thing, I'm just going to say this, not all of them can be winners. I do like its art. It's a bit like, what is the word I'm looking for? 3D-ish. So I'll give them that. I don't like a skill, but when they make this, I don't really care. I guess 2 over 3 of. And now we're on to today's reveals, and yet I know there's 40 of them, and we're only on 29. Prison Gate Star-vader Pandemonium, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto and written upon you, may call it to rear. Fair enough. Auto rear. When your opponent's locked card is unlocked, counterblast 1, retire it. Your opponent looks at the top card and they put it on an open rearguard circle as locked. So, way to say fuck you. I like that. Chaos can just destroy the lock, get you a draw, and take their gifts. Now you have a guaranteed lock card for them. So say I don't remember what Chaos card cost was exactly, but like say for some example you can't pay Chaos's cost, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, well, now you can just lock it from the top of their deck. So, Pandemonium. Nice grade 1. It's also a way to kind of slowly deck your opponent out, so I say 4 of in Star-vader build. 4 of what is now my favorite grade 2, or one of my favorite grade 2s, Star-vader Colony Maker. Grade 2, intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when placed on Vanity rear, soul blast 1 and discard 1, look at top 5, call a Star-vader from one of them as rest to rear, and shuffle the rest back to deck. If your opponent has a lock card, call it as stand instead. Okay, I don't remember what OG Colony Maker did, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a you call something. It was just like maybe an on hit or like when it attacks type of deal. I don't remember what it did, but I know it didn't make rear guards. And that's why I was disappointed, because its name Colony Maker makes me think like they would make units, but it didn't. Now it does, because it can just get you a free Star-vader. So nice grade 2. 4 of in a Star-vader build. And now we're on to Star-vader Infinite Zero Dragon. Nice looking art, amazing grade 3, twin drive, 4 skiff, 13k base, auto when placed on Van or ridden on, so break ride skill and on play skill. If that was an on swing skill, I would be a lot happier in it, but it's fine. Counterblast 1, discard 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and lock it. If you have 4 or more damage, instead of choosing 1, lock 1 from both their front and back row. So what the OG did, except now you're guaranteed to getting a lock, and you know, it's still a good grade 3 that you can still get a lock out of, and continuous Van or rear during your turn for each card in your opponent's, for each of your opponent's lock cards, it gets +5. So automatically, if they have a unit, this is a 18k base if you have a counterblast in a hand card already. So Infinite Zero is a nice grade 3. It can act as support. It can really be used in any deck because it can get that extra lockdown. So I'll say Infinite Zero is an amazing grade 3. 3 of or 4 of. And now on to what is Brantgate Girls. We have, or Space Gredora, sorry. Gravidia Wells, 6k base, grade 0, boost, 5k shield, auto and Rotoponic from 1 second you draw a card, nothing special about it, that's pretty much it. It looks interesting, it looks like a Messiah, it looks like Mew, it looks like Mew from Pokemon, that's what I get from this. Our grade 1, who looks very interesting, Gravidia Wells, 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost, auto when placed on Van, look at top 7, choose any number of meteorite cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand and shuffle your deck. Interesting. And act rear once per turn if your Vanguard is Gravidia Nordlinger, your main grade 3. Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 meteorite cards from your hand and put them into your order zone, and it gets +2 to the end of turn. My only thing with that is, does that count as playing an order? That turn, like, can you do that and then play another order? Or can you not play another order afterwards? You can only play those 2. Because that is actually an important question, because then that means you can just play 3 orders in one go. But either way, Wells is a good grade 1 and actually has, you know, use outside of Ride Line. Thank you for lyrical forcing Bushy to make good line cards. I mean, good deck cards. I love you, Bushy. Well, that's an overstatement depending on what happens next. But still, nice grade 1. I'd take it out like a 3 of in the main deck. Or sorry, 2 of maybe. And we might be wondering what our meteor is. Here's what it is. Neatness Meteor Shower. Why neatness, though? Like, what the fuck? Is that actually its name? If that's what its name is going to translate to, I will be disappointed. Grade 1, it's some beautiful art, but I fucking still hate that name. Set order, as per usual, because that's Brantgate for you. Continuous, you may have up to 16 Neatness Meteor Showers in your deck. Auto, when it's put into your order zone. Soul Charge 1. If it was put by your Vanguard's ability, draw a card. So yeah, way to draw and guaranteed soul charge, so that's nice. And then auto, when it's put from your when it's put into your drop zone from your auto zone, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. I'm disappointed in this because I know what they do. And while you do not, if you're watching this, probably, I don't know. When I read the description, I thought like the meteorites would be on attack. You know, you could kill a rear guard. This is not what I wanted, and it's not. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm not saying like it's perfect either. Like they could have gone 2 ways with this, and they chose one way, and the other way may have been more consistent. But we'll see how that turns out in test plays. Either way, it's a nice order. I say you run 10 of it because you're able to. Actually, no. With what the main grade 3 does, if you really want to get off its full effect, you gotta run at least 15. So we'll get to that later. Okay, next up we have the grade 2 of the ride line, which is Gravidia Barringer, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept, auto when it's placed on Vanity rear. If you have a meteorite card in your order zone, Soul Blast 3. I mean, granted, that's easy in the deck, but still. Draw a card, and this unit gets +5 until end of turn. So you had to have played a Meteorite for this to go off. Because automatically, you have 2 soul the second you ride this. You have to have played at least 1 to get this effect off. If you haven't, well, plus you have to have one in the order zone, then you can't really use it, but still, it's an okay ability, I guess. And then continues rear, if your drop in order zone have a total of 5 or more set orders, it gets +5. Active on both players' turns too. Okay, I like that, because that's a splashable card in any ride line deck, because they only need to have set orders. You can put this in Cardinals, if you can put this in Orphist if you want. If you want to, you can put this in fucking Prison. You could really do anything with this grade 2. So I actually like it. They gave us a really good grade 2. I say 2 over 3, depending on where you want to put this. Next up, we have our main grade 3 Space Gredora or what her actual name is, Gravidia Nordlinger. 13k base, grade 3, twin drive persona ride. Auto, when it's placed on Van, search your deck for up to 2 meteorite cards, put them in order zone and shuffle your deck. So just deck stacking to an extent, or sorry, deck thinning, and guaranteed 2 orders. That's nice. Good grade 3. That's actually really good. And then at Auto Van, when it attacks, counterblast one and put 1 or more meteorites in your order zone into your drop zone until end of battle gets +15. If there are 3 or more meteorites in drop put for this cost, it gets +1 crit, and if you put 5 or more, you activate this ability twice. I read that wrong. I thought it said 15, so never mind. You need at least 5. So maybe 10. Maybe 10. 10 is probably a better number. 11 just in case. I don't think you should go 16 because I don't think the game's going to last 3 turns. But, so automatically it's a guaranteed +15 if you use the skill, and a possible +1 crit, so, 28 double crit on first swing, followed by maybe an ability that activates twice, so what possibly could be on first grade 3 turn if you're lucky enough, 43 triple critical face. And if they don't have PGs, unless they have an overtrigger in hand, that's going to be a lot of guarding. So, Nordlinger, that's actually really powerful grade 3. I like this grade 3. Really nice grade 3. 4 of. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't run it at 4 of, but still. And now on to our last 3 reveals for today. I'm mistaken. It was exactly 40 reveals that we have. First up, we have our Revengers in our last cards for the collection sets. Dark Armor Revenger Renial. Actually, now that I think about it, who was revealed first? Tetra-Drive or Revenger? Because I remember at the start, it was one of those 2 that was revealed first. And I find it funny if it was Revengers that was revealed first as a card for the collection set, and then it was the one that was revealed last, but still. Renial, AK base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto when it's placed on Vanguard. Auto and Vanguard, not on place. When its attack or the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard, look at top 3, choose to 1 Revenger and its card name from among them, put it to your hand and shuffle your deck, send the rest back to bottom without shuffling in any order you wish. So, a way to get another copy of Revenger Phantom, Dragon Boy, or Mordred, or just any Revenger in general. So really nice to have, and you can pick the critical trigger. If they gave us a PG for it, that'd be a bit too broken, but still a nice grade 1. And then other ability, Auto, when it's retired from your rear by card abilities, Soul Blast 1, and your opponent chooses a rear guard and retire it. So a way to kill rear guards. Nice to have. I like this grade 1 really much, so 3 over 4 of. Next up, we have Dark Cloak Revenger Tar2, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto, when it's placed on Vanguard rear from your hand. Soul Blast 1, search your deck up to 1, grade 1 or less, with card with Revenger and its card name, call it to rear and shuffle your deck. At the end of the turn, retire that unit. So, pretty much you're meant to use it with this. There's only one other grade 1 or less Revenger I can think of. I know there's one more, but I don't remember what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it's Grim Revenger and, Transient Revenger Masquerade, the grade 1. Those are the 2 I remember off the top of my head. I know there's another one, but I don't remember for sure. But yeah, this is meant to be used with this guy because I'm pretty sure he's the only one that actually has an on retire effect. So Tar 2 is a nice grade 2 to have, I guess. Like 3 of. I wish they did better with him. Her. And our last reveal for today, I was wrong apparently. We had 39 reveals, so I was slightly less off. But Revenger, Raging Form Dragon. First off, fuck yes, that art's amazing. Like, for the love of God, the blue sword, the red spiraling background. Oh my god. I hate SPs. I don't like the feel on my hands because I refuse to play with sleeves because those feel even more uncomfortable. And I hate playing with SPs. This is an SP I would play with. If you gave me an SP of this, I would actually play with it. That is my scenario right now. Like, genuinely. There are very few SPs I would play with. This is one of them. So, Revenger skill, Auto, when placed on Van, if your damage zone has 4 or more cards, counterblast 1, switch your deck for 1, grade 2 or less card with Revenger and its card name, call it to rear and shuffle your deck. Yeah, that's why this is an on-hand ability. If that was not from hand, this would be so much better. They had the chance to make this good. Like, that was the chance to make a really good effect. But they said it had to be a Revenger, and it had to be from deck, and you have to be placed from hand. There might be a Revenger that's actually really good, and like, if that's meant to be a premium skill, fair enough. But if there's one in V that's actually really good that I'm not thinking of, please tell me, because I actually don't remember, but I feel like that's a good skill, but I cannot prove it with the knowledge that I have right now. And then the other skill is Auto Vant. At the end of the battle that it attacked, retire 3 rear guards with Revenger and their card names. Choose up to 1 grade 3 card with Revenger and its card name from your hand and write it as stand. So, you know, you could pick this and get another attack out of it. Or you could pick Mordred, and if you have 2 Blaster Darks sitting in the front row, granted this would require you to nuke your back row, but if you had 2 Blaster Darks sitting in the front row, swing with Mordred, you probably have 2 gifts now, restand the Blaster Darks, and boom, you got numbers. So, Raging Form, nice grade 3, really good for support, and just all around a really good grade 3 regardless if it's support or not. I love it, it's amazing, 4 of in any deck. And that was this week's reveals. Sorry it came out so late. There were a lot of editing errors, there was a lot of errors during recording, so I had to fix them in editing. And as per usual, now that I started school again, I have to record later. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and before I end this off, if you want to petition for the next deck to go up on the channel. It will not count for this week, by the way. It's not going to count for this week that you're seeing this. But if you want to petition for the next deck to come, join the Discord and literally, tell me, blatantly say in the announcements or somewhere or the general, can you build so-and-so deck and have it appear next week? And I will actually do it. It won't do it this week, but it will start next week. So if you want a certain deck to come up at a certain time, go watch this video to the end and then go do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.